Hey everybody, welcome again to the latest episode of How Outsourcing Works. My name is Brad Stevens, founder and CEO here at Outsource Access. I'm actually in our offices in Cagayan de Oro, Philippines. I'm excited to have JC. We're going to be diving in with her. So How Outsourcing Works series, and this is around commercial real estate. That is the focus for this segment today. And the reason why we're doing this is to unpack the clarity of how this whole works. How does this actually integrate in people's businesses? Most small to medium businesses, they understand that offshore outsourcing exists, but the next question they have is, how does it work? What are these individuals actually going to do? How are they going to integrate? How is it going to work with my existing employees? What about time zones? What about competency? What about language? And so we're proud here at Outsource Access. We've grown to 500 employees in just 4.5 years, servicing 75 different industries, doing all kinds of work, customer service, operations, marketing, bookkeeping, and kind of everything in between. But a lot of stuff we do is kind of custom for that client once we kind of do a discovery and figure out what their needs are. And so in this series, we're focused on commercial real estate. JC wanted to unpack. She was actually the first of 3 VAs that's working for this client now, doing a variety of different functions. I'll ask her to share the chance to dive in and share her story and journey coming to us and what she's been doing for that client. So thanks for taking the time to be with me.
Thanks for having me.
I came on my trip here, I had this idea last minute and was grabbing people. I'm like, hey, you'd be great. I know what you're doing. Let's share that with everybody. So I ran into her the other day. I bumped in front of us our laptop and I was like, what is that? And it was this incredibly complex Google Doc. And she goes, oh, I just put this together. We had a series where we learned about Google Sheets and I just decided to do this whole pivot table and visual graph and chart to show my client all the productivity that I'm doing for them. And so it's just amazing, our staff, just that they take it upon themselves. We try and provide courses and content like our iSoft series. And somebody gave a special insight on Google Sheets, and JC took it to a whole nother level. So anyway, we'll talk about all that in a minute, but just what kind of spawned our conversation. So first of all, just real quick, kind of which area are you from? You run from this area, and then kind of what brought you to Outsource Access?
I'm from Cugban, Cagayan de Oro City, and around December of 2020, I had followed Kevin from our HR team, and I was wondering, they were doing promos for the Christmas party, and I was like, this seems like a fun company to work at. So I messaged him a week later and was like, where do you work? And he's like, oh, it's a CDO-based company. And I'm like, okay. And then I asked, and in January I started to apply and got hired in March. So from there, everything's
So March of 21?
Yeah, 2021.
I'll tell you what, this is the second interview. Our people in culture department are doing a fine job of celebrating the culture that we have here and the engagement. It's a huge part of Outsource Access, and it's what's helped attract amazing people like JC and the 500 plus people that we have. Is we're very committed to our culture, our people, taking care of them, giving them unique experiences, helping them grow, and then also give back in the community. And JC, that's also something she's super passionate. We got a chance to. My trip here, we went and we do a lot of give back initiatives in the community. And so we actually went and planted some mangroves, which are critical in this country for the root systems to protect against typhoons. And then went and we partnered with a local elementary school and got a chance to buy 150 pairs of shoes for the kids there. And our whole team went. We were dancing and singing.
Yeah, it was fun playing with the kids too.
Filipino children are about the cutest children ever. They're beautiful adults as well, but they're also the most adorable children. And it was everything from kindergarten all the way through 6th grade, and just had a blast playing with them and engaging. So anyway, back to it. But the culture that we have here is part of what brings these opportunities. So you learned about it, so you started in 21, and then so the client that you're working with is in the commercial real estate space. Yep. So just kind of unpack what you started doing and kind of how that relationship unfolded, and then we'll talk about how that led to them adding a couple additional staff.
Okay, so basically I started out with just email marketing. I'm basically a project-based VA, so I don't do much. I don't delve too much onto actual selling or but I do come in contact with agents. So my job is kind of like 3 different tasks, but 2 are correlated. First is what I talked about was marketing, but initially I started out they would give me scraped info from Zoom Info, which is we get they're already generated leads and stuff. So all I had to do was clean it up and assign industries and which contacts have which industries. And then it kind of, as soon as some of the agents wanted to do different industries, or sometimes the contacts wouldn't suit which location, since we're a Canadian-based company and most of most of the stuff we got or scraped were not based in Saskatchewan or Saskatoon,
Okay.
so I had to look for them myself. So it kind of evolved into like what I'm doing now is I scrape the data myself, and instead of just cleaning them, and then which is why I needed the trackers and stuff, because every time an agent would be like, I want contacts from Battleford or Saskatoon or Regina, I would be the one to pull that up for them.
Gotcha.
So I do scraping, I organize the data, and then I do the emails. I make the photos. I pull up their listings, like because we
Gotcha.
have a website, and then we pull them.
And relative, before we dive into that, just to pack, when we're talking about marketing for these commercial, real estate, for those that aren't completely familiar with it, right? In terms of what they're trying to do, marketing for the email marketing is, prospects that want to do investing in projects that they have.
Oh, basically, no. What I do for email marketing is I send, for example, sorry.
Yeah, no.
I'm nervous. Okay. So what I do with the contents of these emails are properties, like an
Showcasing
agent-
properties.
Yeah, showcasing properties, like 1 to 2. Sometimes we have agents who want to do 6, so I just suit the emails to what they want to do, like feature sheets. But basically, it's just properties that they want to sell or target their audience to, like healthcare or.
Oh, gotcha. So it's properties that they're looking to broker, create leasing, and so you're buying the Zoom info list, which they want to target, and then you're preparing the email and the content, and then send out to showcase those buildings to hopefully they have a chance to lease that building.
Yep.
Gotcha. And so you were saying earlier, so you actually prepare some of the marketing content and some of the graphics or anything, or?
Yeah, I do the graphics. So I pull up. They'll send me a link they'll send me a link from their website, from our website. Sorry, they send me a link through their website, and I pull up the photos, like the most marketable photo, and then I
Okay.
transform that photo into our little template of like what the sales or what it's supposed to look like for sale or like
Right.
release to make it look nice.
Nice and polished.
Yeah, and I organize everything, and then I transform this information into an email, and then I mass send it out. We used to use Dynamics 365, but then as we grew, or as the days passed or years passed, we decided to move into MailChimp to better suit our needs. So that's
Oh,
what we're
gotcha.
doing now.
So you've moved dynamically with them, and you've been able to kind of work through the different platforms. A lot of our clients, we're having to learn whatever their internal technology is, right? Whatever CRM that they're using, whether it's Salesforce, whether it's HubSpot, whether it's Zoom Info, whether it's Microsoft Dynamics, using Canva for graphics and what have you. So it's kind of evolved. And that's what happens a lot with our clients. And we also keep, very documented playbooks, right? The entire time we're working with clients, a big signature thing for OA is we create these playbooks. So we're documenting all the processes and tasks and what have you. And so it started with data administration, managing the content, getting it cleaned up, making sure that the Zoom info data, filling in additional gaps of data that was missing, and then preparing the content that would go out, right? But doing it on a customized basis based on what the agents want, right? So it's kind of a dynamic relationship. So that's the kind of stuff that we couldn't go on our website and say, at Outsource Access, we help do this, right? Because that's very customized and unique, but that's part of what we do, right? A lot of what we do is falls in these two buckets, is things that people want to get off their plate that isn't the best use of their time. And then secondly, things that they can't get to or they'd love to do that they haven't due to time, money, or knowledge constraints, right? And this is probably a great example of that, is like they weren't scrubbing the Zoom info like they would want to, or things weren't getting out for the agents, right, on a dynamic basis. And so you're kind of playing traffic control and getting that done for them. All right, so that's one bucket of things. So what else?
I also kind of wanted to add, it's not just Zoom info now,
Yeah.
because another thing that I wanted to add was I don't just scrape stuff from Zoom info now, since it's sometimes a lot of agents want to target one single industry, and I have to find Zoom info might have insufficient contacts for Saskatoon, so I end up looking for it in Apollo or other websites that you can scrape data from.
Gotcha.
And I also wanted to add, that's not the only thing that I do. That's
Yeah.
just one fold. We call our marketing,
Yeah.
we call our email campaigns Mercury. So I do
Okay.
Mercury and comps, which are comparable reports, because in real estate you need to compare sometimes agents need to compare their sales and leases with other appraisers, which is my job to do. So basically an agent can send me an email, or lately we've been using forms. I have an automation basically. I made an automation where whenever someone sends over a form,
Yeah.
I'll receive an email asking they'll tell me what they want, and I'll ask the appraisers for them. So basically, I'm kind of
wow.
like the middleman too, of like asking like our appraisers and see what they can have. That which is why I started, which is part of the reason why I started a tracker to begin with. Because sometimes they'll follow up on, did so and so give us comps right already, or did so and so give input? And I'll be like, I'm not sure. And instead of like just scraping through or like going back through my emails, I figured it would be better to just make a tracker to say, okay, this appraiser's done, I'm done with this other appraiser isn't done yet, so I can just mark it and be followed up and stuff. So.
And that was the right side of that Google dashboard
right
that you were
side,
showing me, right?
yeah.
The one where you're able to kind of keep track of those.
Yeah, because comparable reports are kind of time sensitive, so I can give my comparable reports within the hour, but then sometimes, the appraisers take time, so I just need to, which is why I had to track it so I can follow up. And
because you have to track down the appraisers to get the data back to then get it to the agents,
yeah,
right?
I have to be the annoying one and ask them, so yeah, that's part of what I do.
Wow, so those are two pretty dynamic kind of, we call it administrative and operational clutter sometimes that wasn't getting done or didn't have a good workflow. And so not only are you doing it, but you took time to like create an organized dashboard to kind of have an air traffic control to know what's happening and how it's happening. That's awesome. And is there anything else? So those are the two main buckets of things, or is there another category of things you're doing?
Recently I also do like not recently, but I usually do like sometimes one-off tasks.
One-off projects?
Yeah.
So that's redundancy. And a lot of times with our clients, we'll have a set of work streams that our staff are doing that are redundancy things that are consistent and say number of hours approximately like every week. But then there's capacity there to, to step into project-based stuff as it comes. So you're doing some one-off things here and there?
Yeah. Recently I've been asked to help with something that's related to Mercury, since I make forms and stuff. So I've been tasked to help with marketing packages and stuff. So which is just like I still use Canva and just log things to help with the actual person, our marketing person.
Gotcha.
So that's part of what I do. I used to help do quarterly reports, but now that's offset to someone who's actually from there. We can recognize the regions, so sometimes I don't make a mistake. But yeah, that's basically the top two things that I do for the company.
And based on the client experience with you, right? And I always say that the biggest thing they're trying to establish is just confidence and trust. Because as soon as they start getting trust and confidence, because a lot of people have what I call doubt, fears, and concerns about how is this going to work. But once they start working with someone and they're like, wow, this is more than I expected, and you're taking the thinking to the next level, to the point of like creating dashboards, like they start building confidence and realize like how strong the Filipino people are in terms of your capabilities and your desire to learn. And so they end up adding two more staff with us. And so one of them is doing just purely accounting.
Yeah, one of us is doing purely accounting, and the other one is mostly admin work, and she helps with contracts and stuff with our office manager, and that's what she mainly does. I can't particularly delve into what else she does, since it's like
that's a full-time job, like chasing down contracts and getting people to sign them and all of that, especially in the volume that they're doing. That's a big task on its own, I can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for sharing, and we like to keep these kind of short and sweet to kind of dive into some of the deeper details of what we're doing for clients. So if you're in the commercial real estate space, this is just just one level of things that we're doing. We do a discovery call and can unpack and dive deeper into what your particular needs are. But hopefully this has been helpful. And if you're in any other industry aside from commercial real estate and stumbled into this, we service over 70 different industries. And so happy to have a conversation with you and see if we could be a fit. So JC, thanks again so much for being with me and for going above and beyond and demonstrating our core values of, ever-long quest for improvement is one of them, and just from an internal class to all of a sudden creating that incredible dashboard. And actually we may take that and make it a standardized thing we do with all of our staff. So thanks for digging in and learning how to do that. It was really cool to see. So next episode, how outsourcing works, will be coming up. We'll be diving into another industry, but until then, if you want to learn more about us and how we can help, go to outsourceaccess.com, commercial real estate. You can dive some specific things, or go to our website and look at industry drop downs, or just go to our homepage at outsourceaccess.com, and you do three things. You can either check out a webinar. We do some deep dive case studies and examples, exactly like what we talked about today. You can download a playbook and see exactly in deep detail and a guide on the exact specific details we're doing in all different functions in businesses and commercial real estate, across marketing, operations, customer service. Or you can just book a call. You can click a link to book a call and have a discovery call with one of our staff and unpack what your needs are and see if we could be a help and get someone like JC to make an impact on your business. So until next episode, thanks again for JC. Thanks for being here.
Having me.
Appreciate it. And I'm going to be hopping on a plane, actually. This is my last episode before I head back to the States. So look forward to the next episode coming up. Take care.